So I wanted you all to see this. This is the inside of the CS-8150. Now I was really surprised that this machine did not have an all aluminum frame, because you know it's got that cartridge here that gets put into the machine. So I was really surprised to see it didn't have a frame. So anyway, I was doing some testing on it, and I went to test on some vinyl, like on my newer machine, my newer brother, and when I went to sew it, it went and what happened was I looked, there was somebody was kind enough on YouTube to put a video up on how to take the cover off. I'll put a link below to his video so you can see. But what happened was, when I looked, it was making this really, hear that noise? Well, this motor, okay, there's a screw that goes down in here, and there's a little, see how they have these nodules like this where it gets screwed into? Well, the little plastic nodule, okay, here we go. This plastic nodule cracked. So it cracked off down in here, right in there. And that's where this screw goes through this motor into there and gets screwed into that, right? So when that broke, this motor and the little fan was rubbing against the edge here, making this really loud whining noise. Here's the belt, and this was a nice running machine. I was really surprised when this did this, but see, this is why that everyone always says to make sure you buy a machine with an all aluminum frame, because this was screwed into plastic. It wasn't screwed into the aluminum frame, and that's why we say these machines, don't suggest sewing through leather or anything, because when this motor, which was strong enough to support this, but for some reason, because of the age of this machine, it caused a weak point there. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to get a drill, and I'm going to drill a hole in there big enough to accommodate a new screw. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the screw through there, and it's going to come out through the back of the machine, back here, and I'll put a washer with a nut to tighten it to hold that motor in place, and this machine will be like brand new. But while I have it open, you can see all the interior of this machine. Now, the strange thing is, here's the deal. My client is adopting this machine, and she was so excited, and I was so excited for her. So I decided to test it all out and do a few things. Oil it up wherever I need to oil it. And when this happened, I was like, wow. But I'm glad this happened to me, because if it happened to her, she's that kind of person that wouldn't have said nothing. She thought she would have broken it, okay? And I didn't want her to think that. But I'm going to give this to her and let her play with it, and use it, because she's a brand new newbie, and then she can grow from here. This will be perfect to grow from. And once I get that screw in here to hold that motor down, this will work. Because I was thinking, like, well, I'm not going to super glue anything there. It's never going to hold with the power that this needs, right? And so it's a good thing, because while this is open, I'm going to go here and put some drops of oil where there's moving parts with metal. Go over here and put some oil in spots here. And when I get that screw in here, I'm going to go Home Depot tomorrow and buy a screw to put it in there. And this will be like brand new. So I'm going to take this one screw to Home Depot with me so I know what size I need. And I already measured the length. I need like a 2 1/4 screw to go all the way through. See, that's where it's supposed to be, right there. See? And this is the motor. So, and this is the fan right here. And then once this is on and screwed in, it's going to run just fine. So I just have to make sure when I drill the hole, you see, this is where I'm going to drill the hole right here. You can see in the camera. Hopefully you can see in the camera. Let me zoom it in for you here. Okay, there you go. So this is where I'm going to drill the hole for the new screw to go through. It'll come out the back side, and I'll have, like I said, a washer and a nut, and it'll hold this motor in place. But boy, this was real interesting. And I'm not a mechanic, But I figured this is the best way to keep this machine, because I've had such luck with this machine. And I was surprised, and this is the first time I've ever opened up this machine, and I was really surprised to see that there's no aluminum frame. And this machine had a sister. The sister to this machine was an embroidery machine. So if this was just like the embroidery machine but no aluminum frame, you know, I don't know what to say, but anyway, this has been a good machine for me. It's lasted me since this is the early 2000s when I bought this, and it's been running really, really nice. But you can see the plastic starts to disintegrate after a while. And you know, if these machines here where everything is drilled into plastic and not aluminum frame, this is going to happen, okay? And you're going to expect this when these machines get older. And that's why so many times you hear these people telling you, buy a machine with an aluminum frame, because the screws get drilled into the aluminum. And everything here is drilled into plastic, and after time, plastic starts to disintegrate and get weak. Case in point right here, you see? So this is a good lesson to learn. I don't know why Brother made machines that screw into plastic. Probably because it was cheaper, you know, to sell these machines. The technology of these machines is amazing. It's just freaking amazing, the technology of these machines. They just needed an all aluminum frame. So once I fix that, she's going to get some longevity out of this. I don't see anything else that's weak. It was just a stress point here on that plastic, because like I said, that motor was just screwed into this little piece of plastic, this plastic post, and when I went over something heavy, and it went to, you know, the motor went to bear down, it just broke this little post off. So when I screw that new screw in there, and have it, it'll be coming out the back end, but there's no problem with that, because there's not going to bother with the fabric getting ripped on it. It will give this even more strength. And I noticed, look how thin the motor belt is. Very thin. Can you see that? Very thin motor belt. So now look at when I screw that down, no problem at all. It's going to move really nice. Okay, so the first thing I did is I drilled a hole through both of these. Now the screws that I got to use for this are right here. Okay. Okay, next I got this variety pack of washers. It's got 3 different sizes, and I'm using this size that fits this screw. And for this side, I measure it down, and it's going to be 7 screws, 7 washers. Let me get that closer. It's going to be 7 washers that go in there. And then this washer here, it's going to, I'm going to nudge it in here like that, and then I'll just tap it in with a screwdriver. But what I'm going to do to make sure those other washers under there stay even is I'm going to very delicately I'm going to take these out, and I'm going to super glue them all together. Then I'm going to figure out how many screws on the other one I'm going to need also. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I took the JB plastic bonder and I filled it in the gaps around, and I took a Q-tip, I took Q-tip and wrapped it around the inside perimeter of the wall. And now I just have to wait for it to dry. It says it sets in 15 minutes and cures in 30 minutes. Okay, and then I drop the washers in. So instead of adding the top washer, I decided to fill it up all the way with the putty, or the weld. And I gotta do some more on the other side now. Alright, so here they are, nice and hard. Wow, that's really hard. That is great. Now, I drilled a hole all the way through to the other side. So when I put this back on, the bolts are going to go through. I bought new bolts. They're going to go through. See, when I put this motor back on. Okay, when I put this motor back on, the new bolts are going to go through, get screwed, and they'll come out the back end of the machine, because I drilled a hole through the casing, and then I'm going to bolt them back there. I stopped at Lowe's and Home Depot for a metal brace, a long metal brace, and they were both out of it. And the other Lowe's that has it is a little, about another 20 minutes away, so I said not last night. So, and I've been up all night. It's like 8:30 right now, and I've been up since 11, 12 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Monday and Tuesdays are my days off, so yeah. And I've just been playing with the new embroidery machine. I've been getting this together. But listen, guys, this JB weld in the this here plastic bond. Wow, this is rock solid. This is great. And you know, because I based it in there, you know, I filled it with metal washers. This is going to really hold well. And when I put the screw through it to the back, you'll see how I brace it. And when I put this together, this machine will be just like brand new. So if someone made a comment on Facebook and said that this is done, it won't work. But they didn't know what I was going to try. So let's hope this works. Because like I said, I'm not an engineer. I'm not a mechanic. I'm just common sense and thinking, okay, maybe this will work. And I'm trying to MacGyver it and jerry rig it. And if this is this strong right now, I think it might work. So you'll see. Let's continue. All right, the screws are in. Oh, I gotta pat myself on the back for this one. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. This is good. Now wait to see the back. So here's where the screws came out, and I bolted them down. And you know something? I don't even need to put a brace across here. I won't have to put a brace across here because this thing is stronger than it originally was. Look at that. This thing is so much stronger than it originally was. I'm turning the wheel. This is in here so good. Now I can put this back together and it's a perfect running machine. Honest to God, I'm just so proud of myself for this. Oh, I hate to give myself one of the deadly sins, this pride, but you know what? I gotta pat myself on the back. This is what I mean about being self-sufficient and independent, is taking initiative to try something, and I'm very, very happy. Now I'll put it together, and hopefully nothing else is gonna be screwed up, and it's gonna work, and my friend's going to have some nice longevity from this machine. So I'll finish up here and put it together, and we'll turn it on and we'll go from there. All right, time for the real test. Let's just go right to a decorative stitch and see. Let's just go right to a decorative stitch and see how well this sews out. You ready? All right, I got my end foot on. Remember, the end foot is for your decorative stitching, like anything that's got like a satin stitch, because it has a hollowed out groove underneath. And you need that hollowed out groove under the foot for the thickness of the decorative stitch to pass through so it doesn't get hung up. That is a newbie arrow. Now see, in the old days with the old machines that did not have a computer screen that showed you what foot you need for every stitch that you're doing. So today, these are machines for dummies. It tells you what to do. If you don't read it, that's your problem. That's, I'm just gonna be blunt about it. If you don't read it, it's like, did you ever watch that video from? Who remembers Designing Women? Anybody remember watching Designing Women? Well, there's this clip from Designing Women about Bernice's tree skirt. One of the gals gave her a tree skirt for Christmas, and Bernice thought it was a skirt to wear. So that's about what I'm talking about. The standard J-foot is not for every type of stitch. Okay, you got it? All right, love you all. Okay, let's go. Let's give this a shot. Looking pretty. Looking really pretty. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Well, before I do, let me just switch to a regular standard straight stitch. Alright, number 3 on this machine is the center needle position. Alright, let's just try that. That should be enough to test. Needle up. Move it to the side and let's check it out. Oh my God! Ellie Mae, it's so pretty. Uncle Jed's gonna love this. Oh, it's so pretty, Ellie Mae. Let's see the back. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that nice? Alright, let's try another stitch. Let's try one more stitch. Now, I'm going to be doing a couple videos on this to help my friend because, like I said, she's a newbie. She's never even owned or operated any type of computerized sewing machine. She doesn't even know how to put a stitch together. So, and that's what I'm so excited about helping her is because she is discovering that she really does have this little bit of interest and passion inside to want to sew. And because she's my friend and because I sew, guess what? She's going to learn really quick. Alright, so let's just go back to, let's scroll through and see what kind of stitches. Let's see. Oh, we have the satin zigzag. Look at all these cool stitches. Oh, you could do a lot of bobbin work with these kind of stitches too. Let's do a honeycomb stitch. People are going to say, how do you know it's a honeycomb stitch? Because it doesn't tell you. Well, after a while, when you watch enough sewing programs and you know, here's something I'm going to teach you people. Just because it's something you don't like to do doesn't mean you should not watch it. Because there's something in everything. For example, you may be a quilter, but you don't want to watch garment sewing. But guess what? There might be some techniques in there that can help you with your quilting. You may be a garment sewer and don't like quilting, but guess what? You should watch a little bit of quilting to understand how they piece points together, which can help you match seams and make creative points in Star Trek costumes, for example. If you're making a Star Trek costume, or if you're making any type of points you have to match in your construction of your garments, things like that. So don't ever turn your nose up at something that you don't like. Always watch it and learn from it. Yeah, it won't be a genre of sewing that you want to specialize in. Even Heirloom, you may not have any little christening Southern girls wearing these little bonnet dresses anymore like they did way back then, but they're still making these fancy dresses for special occasions that they put these little babies and stuff in, like christening and things like that. So learn, and the different type of decorative stitches, entre-deux stitches, things like that. So you'll learn the names of these stitches as you go along, and that's how it is. Just like being an auto mechanic, you'll learn different things about different parts of the car as you keep learning and keep working. All right, let me make this a little wider here. I'm gonna make it longer. Let's make it to 3.0. see how this is going to turn out. It's sewing beautiful. And it really is sewing nice. It really is. This is going to be a great, oh, look at that. This machine is going to last a good long time yet because I have that motor reinforced. So now let me just go over everything about this machine so people know, okay? I have used Brother and Janome machines for a long time. And then I started using Baby Lock machines. And all the Baby Lock machines are made by Janome and Baby Lock, okay? The entry-level mechanical machines in Baby Lock are made by Janome and a generic brand with the Baby Lock logo on them, okay? Or generic factory, that is. But most of the really good quality mechanical machines that Baby Lock has, they're made by Janome. The sewing, embroidery, and mostly all the computerized sewing machines by Baby Lock are made by Brother. Okay, Brother makes great machines, but, and there's always a but. You know that. Like this machine here, surprised, there's no all aluminum frame. So their engineers must have thought because the way they construct the plastic housing that it's sturdy enough to use as a sewing machine. The problem is these machines, because there's no all aluminum frame, the screws do not screw into a metal frame for longevity. And as you saw what I did in this video for the repair of the motor, I've now given this machine some extended life. So the computerization of this machine and the way the mechanics are really good. I mean, it's really good. And but if you're going to invest money in your own personal machine, or you're upgrading or whatever, don't buy these little cheap machines for the purpose of using heavy sewing. For using lightweight sewing and stuff, these are great for it. Now, she's going to be able to get a little bit more longevity and sew a little thicker fabrics because of the way I reinforced the motor. But prior to that, when I went over something heavy, that's how that motor busted off the screws busted off the joints, the plastic joints it was screwed into. So, with that said, I want to do one more stitch and I'll end this video because you guys, I could talk and talk and talk. I have 62 years of experience in life and I could tell you a lot of things. So let's see. All right, let's do one more stitch here. This is a nice stitch here. All right, here we go. This stitch is used a lot in hem stitching with a wing needle. It makes the little hole. You might have seen it in your great-grandmother's little hankies, or when great-grandma had those curtains hanging in the kitchen by the window, by the sink. They had the little holes in the bottom for the hem. This is part of all that heirloom sewing. And heirloom sewing is really a lot of fun. You should look it up. Go on YouTube and look up heirloom sewing. It really is a lot of fun because you get to be creative with all the decorative stitching. And then just step out of the box and find out how you can make it look for modern sewing. I did a video on using metallic threads to give it more of an up-to-date look for up-to-date sewing. So don't limit yourself because someone told you to only do it one way. Alright, let's check this out and then I'll end this video. It's been a long video and I know a lot of you don't pay attention to the whole video. You have ADD and you get distracted. ADHD. Okay, look how pretty. See, let's look at the back. Nice, good stitch balance. It looks great. Love it. It's looking really good. Alright, so a repair job down, finished. Love you all. Take care and go back and watch this video a couple times if you missed anything, because I noticed when I read comments on my videos, a lot of you aren't watching the video and you're asking questions I've already answered in the videos. And then you could Google search a lot of this stuff on your own, okay? So if you ask me questions because you're just lonely and you want to have personal attention, hey, I'm reading it, so you're getting my personal attention. I am reading, I just can't respond to everything. All right, guys, I love you. Thanks for being here. Like and subscribe so you can keep more. You can keep up to date and click that little bell notification so every time I post up a new tutorial and educational video, you'll be able to watch it and get notified to watch it so you don't miss anything. All right? Okay, to all my Bernices out there, all right? The tree skirt goes around the tree. You don't wear it around your waist, okay? To all my Ellie Mays out there, Uncle Jed's going to be so proud that you're making such pretty looking looking decorative stitches here. Okay, I love you all so much. Thank you for being in this community with all of us, because all of you make this community what it is. Talk to you later. Bye.